Hello out there. It's me, Wilson the Cosmic King, and from CNS Comics to all of you out there, Happy New Year, Happy 2022. Big thank you to you guys for sticking with me on my adventures in indie publishing. All right, so today got a great topic to discuss that I think will be really fruitful. Um, it always helps me to think about. So hopefully it's helpful to you guys out there too in your journeys to become your entrepreneurial self. But today we're going to talk about, I think, a very key concept that feels basic but isn't basic. And it is the idea versus the plan, right? So there's ideas and then there's a plan. And I think a lot of times I have the tendency, and I'm sure we all do have the tendency to conflate an idea with a plan. But there's a big difference between the two, and there's some key differences that we need to call out that will help you kind of make your idea real with the plan. Like how I did that there. Take your idea, was that idea, plan, idea, bam, magic. All right. So the first thing we'll have to do is understand an idea. When you think about ideas, think about brainstorming. Think about the fun part. Like, oh, we should do this, and then you know what else? This would be really cool. And if we're gonna do that, then we should do this. And that's that idea. You're just all excited. There's a lot of good mojo, a good juice going when you've got your idea phase happening. Everybody's very, very excited. That's how you know you're in idea mode. But a plan is actionable. So where ideas are in magic land in your imagination, and it's all about what you can come up with. A plan is all about what you can execute, how you can make all these e- ephemeral, magical, um, abstract ideas into a hard good, a true reality through a plan. So a plan is the tool you use to take an idea and make it a reality. So that's what we're going to really be talking about today is how do you make your ideas reality? Um, and it's not as exciting, I guess, as when you're coming up with all that great stuff. But it may be even more important than the idea itself. I mean, I think I think ideas might be overrated. Don't don't shoot me for this. Don't come for me, guys. All I'm saying is I think that all of us have fantastic ideas, like a mile a minute, right? I think 99% of everybody on the planet has had that one idea that could have probably changed the world. But the reason why that idea never came into being, was never manifested, is because we don't do the less fun stuff like planning. Planning is detail oriented, it requires lots of research. Uh, you have to goal set. So there's a lot of different methodologies involved in actually planning, and the different types of planning for different types of projects and things that you're doing. Um, so a lot of times we tend to stop at the idea and think that something's wrong with the idea. That's why it didn't make it. Well, my idea wasn't good enough. And I just don't think that's true. I think more times than not, the idea was fine. I've seen a lot of crappy stuff get made. I've made crappy stuff. You can make crappy stuff. They sell crappy stuff all over the place right now. They're not fantastic ideas or necessarily special every time. They just got finished and they fulfilled some kind of need for people, even if they made the need up. So I mean, that's really how it works. What you can finish is always going to be better than what you can imagine. It's a hard truth that we've got to suffer through. Um, but once you realize that, and once you realize that, hey, uh, I can't stop at the idea, right? It's not that you stop having the brainstorming session where you write all 50 of your ideas down. You should continue to brainstorm, write your ideas down. But if you really want to see your dream become a reality, you're going to have to sit down and do the boring work. So, for instance, if you have the idea, like I did, where you want to make a comic, crazy me, right? I've read comics, I read books, read all sorts of stuff growing up. We did made stuff like flip books ourselves, but I did not truly understand what I was getting into. Um, and if I had a time machine, I would go back and do a lot more research than I did. Because if there's uh, three big mistakes that I made during my process that I think were totally avoidable, it would have been uh, buying stuff I don't need, buying stuff I don't need, and buying stuff I don't need. And that is a result of really not having a true plan, not really understanding what I was into. But as I got deeper into becoming an indie publisher and my adventures in indie publishing, I really started to become a back office nerd for the boring stuff. So I write everything down. When you plan, you have to have a goal. That goal is like the starting point. And then once you have the goal, you work backwards essentially from your goal through like the steps that you need to get back to it. Right. And that's how you figure out what you'll need to do. It's much more detailed than that. And there's a link down here in the description that you can click to visit our actual blog on cnscomics.com's blogosphere, where you can get some how to sort of from these videos, kind of just a little more in depth, and some sourcing for you too, so that you can kind of start your journey researching, planning, and ideation or brainstorming, however you want to reference it. So make sure you hit that link, visit the blog, get a little more detail. But the most important thing to keep in mind is that you do have really good ideas. It's all about how much you want to put in to making that real. And if you want to make it real, then it's going to require you hit the books, YouTube University, where you're probably watching this right now, getting your education on about um, whatever it is that you might want to do. So for me, I did a lot of reading on um, how to publish digitally, different printers, what a classic comic book format was so that I could turn it on its head. Um, a lot of market research came later. So in the beginning, I had to figure out how to make a comic. Then I had to figure out how to make people want my comic and reach out to an audience, which I would have flip flopped. That would have been one of the things I would have done had I done more research like you're doing. You're at a starting place now, um, where you can first really engage an audience. And, we'll do some more discussing of those really building block steps to get going. But the first thing would be to identify the difference between an idea and a plan, become an excellent planner, an endless learner of things. Um, you'll have to be a good goal setter. I believe in SMART goals. So we go into SMART goals a little bit in the blog. So make sure you check that out. Um, but yeah, the thing to remember is you have a great idea. How much are you willing to do about it? So 2022 is here, brand new year. I encourage you to make those ideas reality and do it through planning, research, effort. You've got this. You've got this. You've got this. So take care. Happy 2022. I wish you all the best of years. Stay fired up. And remember, above all else, thank you for keeping it indie, baby.
Woohoo!
I knew
Woo!
you'd show up sometime. I'm going to go find this guy.
Woohoo!